Tools, glorious tools. Okay, that was embarrassing. I'm Tiff from Turtle Spirit Jewellery, and I'm going to make a quick, well, it probably won't be quick, it'll probably be reasonably long, because there's a lot to talk about. It's going to be on tools. I was going to do a video that just kind of showed you all my tools, and then I realised I got way too many tools for that. So I'm going to do a series of videos, bringing them out like every month or something, or whenever I have the time really, on different sets of tools. So today we're going to start with just hand tools that you use for like wire working, and so like, yeah, I'll just show you. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So, tools is a subject which is really very dear to me. I love tools so much. I've kind of got a slight addiction to buying tools, as anyone who makes jewellery or does any sort of craft can appreciate and understand. But in particular, jewellery making, it doesn't require a lot of tools. Like, you know, you could start off with maybe 3 or 4 tools, but when you want to start doing more complicated pieces and specialist stuff, you do need quite a few tools. So we're just going to start with the wire working tools here. This is my little jar of loveliness. Ooh, which one should we start with? Let's start with the round nose pliers. So I've got 2 different sizes of round nose pliers. I've got quite a large pair there, and then a itty bitty pair there for doing really detailed kind of wire working. Let me see in my scrap pot what I've got. A bit of wire. Oh, here we go. So you can make ear wires with this, and you can make loops and spirals. It's got a really tiny little tip here, so you can start off and do really delicate spiral work with these. So that's those. I got these from, usually they have a little tag, Beadsmith. These are Beadsmith pliers, so they're quite professional ones, and they're really, really, really fine, detailed and precise. So really good tool to get. And yep, next one we've got some chain nose pliers, which are flat in the middle here, and then they've got a sort of pointed tip there also for doing very fine work. You can make spirals with them. You can hold the spiral flat and twirl it around, stuff like that. These are also Beadsmith. Really good set of pliers to get. When I first started jewellery making, I bought an extremely cheap set of pliers, which basically fell apart after a week. And since then, I've realised that, you know, it's better to spend a bit more money and get something that's going to last for a very long time. And these are perfect. They really are good. We've also got a set of flat nose pliers. So these are quite similar to the ones I've just shown you, except they have a big flat nose, and they're parallel to each other. So it's good for like opening jump rings and stuff. These are also, these are the Beadsmith. I think they're a slightly different company. These aren't quite as good as the other ones. They've got a sort of piece here which can sometimes come unhitched. It's like a sort of spring, whereas these have just 2 big flat pieces of metal which bounce against each other. Okay, so next in the little bundle that we've got here is, yep, let's go with the nylon jaw pliers. So these pliers are really good for if you want to grip a piece of wire and not make marks on it. So you can press really, really hard with these, and it won't put any marks at all on your piece of jewellery. They're made out of nylon. They've got really soft face there, and I've got 2 pairs of these. These are quite old. I've had these quite a while. And they're purple, which makes me love them so much more. And there's these ones which initially I thought they were going to be really, really good pliers, because I think they're Beadsmith ones as well. and I really like the spring action of them. But unfortunately the nylon face actually fell off, and when I tried to screw it back on, it seemed to be like really misaligned or something, and it hasn't worked. So I've glued it on for now. I suppose I could try with another face, but I've only just started using them, so I wanted to use it until it starts to get quite rough and damaged, and then it's time to change. I've got a little packet up here of the faces. So once it's used up, that you get a tiny little, I think I've got one here. Oh yeah, a tiny screwdriver, and you just like undo this little joint there, take it off, and pop on a new one like that. Same with these ones. I would say these ones are much better. I have no idea where I bought them though. I cannot remember, because I've tried to get another pair for doing workshops with and stuff, because they are really handy, and no idea where I got them. Yeah, so I'll just show you what you can do with these. Say you had a piece of wire that was all kinky. You could also, ooh, kinky. You could also straighten it out like that. And you can't really see because the camera won't focus, but it doesn't have any marks whatsoever. Just a nice smooth, leaves the wire nice and smooth. So next we've got, what have we got? So we've looked at round nose pliers, we've looked at chain nose, flat nose. So here's another pair of flat nose pliers, so quite similar to these ones that we looked at earlier. Much better quality though. I think these are going to last a lifetime, well, more than a lifetime. They're really, really strong pair. I got these from Tools and Tools. So Tools and Tools have a shop on Etsy and on eBay. Definitely recommend these. Yep, they're really good. Also for like jump rings, you could have one in each hand, and that can be quite helpful when you're fiddling around with jump rings or trying to hold something in place. This pair of pliers is quite funny. I bought by accident, to be honest. I was looking for something like this or like this, and I ended up buying these. They've got like a sort of a big flat end there. I should have known because it did say like duck bill pliers or something like that in the description, but I really wasn't concentrating. It was a bit of a flash quick buy. The angle of the photo made it look like they were a lot smaller than they actually are. Another little tip, when you're buying something online, get a ruler out, look at the dimensions and actually figure out how big it says it is, because I always forget to do that, and I end up with a plier that's a lot bigger than what I need. However, that being said, this was a kind of happy accident, because I'm sure I can use it for something. When I'm making kind of large pieces or bangles, and I want to maybe fold a piece of metal in half, so you could grab it like this and then fold a big piece in half if you're doing some fold form work or something. So I reckon I'm going to use them. I do. I haven't yet, but I think I will in the future. They're also really, really strong. They've got one long piece of metal that curves up as a spring, and they feel really professional, yeah, and strong. So next we've got, we'll go for the cutters. So I've tried quite a few different cutters before I found these, which are the mother of all cutters. They are beautiful, lovely, lovely tools. I started out with a plier like this, which I think was a couple of quid, maybe $1.99 or something. It's absolutely awful. Never buy a cheap tool, ever. The spring mechanism has completely come off. I have another set of pliers where it's actually come out of the rubber here, and the rubber's fallen off. They're not very sharp, they're misaligned at the top, and they don't cut thick wires at all. So yeah, what I've learned from buying tools online is to buy more expensive, buy high quality first, and then you'll have it for a very long time, so it, you know, the investment actually pays off. You buy something cheap like that and you'll end up having to buy it all over again and basically wasting your money. I got these, which are silver line pliers. I don't use them very often. I bought them as part of my workshops, just as an extra pair to have. They're not amazing, but they do the job for thin wires, really. They are going rusty on the top, not very good, but they're okay if you're maybe doing jewellery making as a hobby or something. Silver line. But these are my babies. I love them. So we got the daddy pliers and the baby pliers, and the little ones I use for thinner wires. They've also got this locking mechanism where you can have the spring on, so it springs open again, or you can turn it off and then it's just sort of loose. Same with the big pair, you can do that. So these pliers, these big cutters, are another example of me buying something without checking the dimensions, because I wasn't expecting them to be so big, but actually it's been a blessing, because I can cut really thick wire with these and they are really strong. They're perfect. You have to put hardly any effort at all in cutting the wire. So I've got some quite thick copper wire here, and if I want to cut off a piece, literally just cut it, easy peasy. Hardly any pressure I have to put on it, because the tool does all the work for you. So these are Baco pliers. Same with these ones, and I highly recommend. You can also get these on eBay really easily, and I think these were maybe £12 or something, and these were £8, I think. Don't quote me on that though. Oh yeah, I've also got a little pair of tweezers in here, which are super useful for like picking up tiny pieces of metal. So I've got a tray here with all these little bits that I sometimes use, and it can be really fiddly to try and get your fingers in there and grab little pieces out, so I just use the pliers to pick out the little pieces of metal or whatever it is, stones, whatever I'm using. And these bad boys. So these pliers, these are quite new as well. They're from Tools and Tools, and they are for bending thick wire when you're making a cuff bracelet or a bangle or something, and the wire's really stiff. If you were to try and use maybe these, it might not work and it's too small. These have got a soft nylon jaw, so they're not going to mark your jewellery, and a very wide, long curve. So you just sort of grab it and bend it around and keep going, bend it, bend it, bend it. And then when I'm making bracelets or cuffs, I would then finish it off on my bracelet mandrel, which my friend kindly made for me in his woodworking lathe. So yeah, this is great. It's made out of yew, so it is reasonably hard, but I put quite a lot of marks on it from bashing it around. I might need to get a metal one at some point, but this, I love it. It's great because you can make earrings at the very end of it, and then you can make bangles and anklets at the bottom where it's bigger. So yeah, the last tool in my jar, because this is just a paper tool, I'm going to get rid of that, is a hole punch. And the hole punch, I always forget to use it. I usually just get out my drill and drill holes in. The only trouble with this is it only does one size hole, so it's 1.8mm holes, which can be quite big for some pieces of jewellery where I'd want something delicate and small. I got these in Canada when I was on holiday. I can't remember the name of the shop now. I'll link it below if I remember. Yep, they're really useful, so you just bash out a hole like that. The only problem with them is that they create quite a big mess on the back of the piece where the metal is pushed through. You get quite a sharp edge, so you do have to do a lot of clean up with them. you end up having to file it and sort it out. But that's okay, because it is a fair bit quicker than using the drill. It just, oof, done. I wouldn't use it on any thicker than 20 or 18 gauge though. So that's it. That is all the little hand tools I've got, I think. There might be some more hanging around somewhere. In the next video we'll look at a different set of tools, maybe hammers, perhaps. I'll have a think about which one I want to do next. Or if you've got any ideas, maybe put a message in the comments below. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later.